Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to cover why it's a good idea to add some next bossing sessions to your PVM time. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax and enjoy. I had initially planned to finish and upload this video last week because that was really the perfect time to be killing next due to Frank's free deaths. However, it is still a fantastic time to be doing next as her drops have been rising quite steadily with only some tipping downwards recently. That's probably due to the free death week, by the way. Still, many drops are expensive. The Torva Playbody, for example, is over 180 million GP. Virtus equipment has been rising quite steeply, and compared to a month ago, most Virtus items are up 20 to 40%, with an exception of the Virtus Wand. My theory for the price surge is that more players have access to money right now than usual, probably due to the Golden Party Hat event, giving the average player much more buying power, given that they sold off their party hats. Now you might be wondering, why did this video take so long to make then? And honestly, it's mainly because I was really busy with some exams and schoolwork, and Next just didn't want to give me drops while I was doing it during free death week. I think I did like 4 or 5 hours of Next, and I wasn't lucky enough to receive a single drop. If you want to know what it feels like to do Next sometimes, have a look at these following clips. Yes, those were stone spirits from 1 hour of Next. The drops were so bad, Next decided she needed a timeout of her own to overthink how pathetically common 5k loot drops in stone spirits are at a high level solo boss like herself. Now sure, I did see Green Dragon Hide, Sourdough and Bruise, the better common loot, but I felt like I was seeing too many stone spirits at those hours at Next. And also it didn't feel very nice to do Next for 5 hours to not really receive that much and barely pay for my supplies used. I did receive the occasional loot beam, but not because it was a rare drop, but because it was Onyx Bolts, which are actually quite a good drop at Next, or a Starved Ancient Effigy. But because I didn't receive any big drops, I didn't really feel like making a video. I mean, if you make a video claiming a boss has good money, yet you have nothing to show for it, it's a little bit strange, even though the drops are obviously higher than before in terms of GE price. Now for those that are unaware, there are 80 Next items you can receive as a drop, and each of them have a 1 in 384 chance of being dropped, meaning you effectively have a 1 in 21.33 chance of receiving a unique drop at Next, which is actually quite good considering you can get anywhere from 12 to 20 kills per hour. That should mean you get a drop every 60 to 90 minutes on average, and honestly that is really good. But as you can see, I wasn't very lucky until, well, today actually. Today I was lucky enough to receive 2 drops in a single hour on my second hour of doing Next. And I was lucky enough to receive Torva Plate Legs, a whopping 109.5 mil made in a single drop. That felt good after all those dry hours. Then in the same hour, about 20 minutes later, I received a pair of Torva gloves. It's safe to say I was very satisfied with that last hour of doing Next. And thanks to those big drops alongside the common loot, I was able to make around an average of 29 million GP per hour during those 7 hours of Next. Now that isn't amazing, but in my opinion, that's a good amount of money for 7 hours of PVM, even though I started to get a little bit frustrated after 5 hours of receiving nothing in terms of unique drops. Sure, I was still, getting like 5-6 mil in commons, but it just didn't feel like it was enough for the effort I was putting in. My average kill speed was anywhere from 2 minutes and 20 seconds all the way up to just below 3 minutes, and that's probably because during these kills I was typing on Discord, I was typing in game, and you're bound to mess up, okay? You don't use your ECB spec properly. Sometimes you're not even attacking the boss because you're typing, and it just... Casual kills, it was fun, and I'm happy the money per hour evened out thanks to those big drops. Otherwise, I might have felt like my time was wasted. But in general, Next is a good boss for money, and I highly recommend doing Next solos if you're able to do them, because they're quite chill as soon as you've mastered the blood phase. And that's exactly why I'm making this video. If you've ever wanted to try Next, now is probably the time, because if you do get lucky on your first few kills, you get a Torva Play Body or a Virtus Robe Top, you're going to be making big money very quickly. And the best part about Nex is that when you do see that loot beam glowing, you see that drop on the floor, you're able to sell it instantly, unlike some other bosses where you need to get multiple parts, which just isn't the same feeling. For example, at a rack store, you get yourself a top leg piece and you're like, that's pretty cool, everyone in your clan says congrats, but you know that you need to slave away for 2 more pieces to make any significant money from the boss. At Nex, that simply will not happen because Nex is best waifu. Well, until you get stone spirits. Oh, for fuck's